It is a known fact and well acceptable norm now. And all over the world, it is recognized and confirmed that in Africa, especially Nigeria, elections are not won by the votes of the people, but by using the electioneering body and judges to rig elections. It is a well-known fact in Nigeria that the 2023 election was a corruptly rigged election, as alleged. And the people who rigged the election, again, allegedly, are the ones who are governing the country. And this is what, in a nutshell, succinctly put, and correctly so, Professor Chidi Odinkalu captured when he said that Tinubu does not need votes to be president. Tinubu needs INEC and judges to be president of Nigeria. It is a fact. After all, that's exactly what happened in 2023. It's a fact that it's also been asked many, many times. People like Sowore have asked the same question. Are Nigerians really citizens? Because if you're a citizen of a country, it means you can vote. If you're a citizen of a country, it means that when you vote, your vote should be counted. But the way elections are run in Nigeria is that the votes of the people are not counted. The people are not allowed to vote because they use thugs to chase them away. And even when they vote, they destroy the ballot papers. And even when they count the ballot papers, they mutilate the results and ascribe someone else's vote to another person. And this is exactly what Professor Chidi Odinkalu said. It is a fundamental problem and well known that our president and our politicians have gross disrespect for Nigerians. And this stems from the fact that they do not need our votes to be president, lawmakers, governors. They need INEC to rig the elections, and they need judges to legitimize the rigged election. And this is what Professor Chidi Odinkalu captures here. It was in Nigeria some years back, just a few years back, I think before the 2023 election or something like that, in his outgoing speech, a former senator, Senator Adamu Bukechua, I think he's from Bauchi or Gombe, one of those two, one of the northern state, on the floor of the Senate, told Nigerians how he leans on his wife to curry favor for his friends. He sat on the floor of the Senate. For a system to be destroyed, you need the judges to be part of it. And our judges have contributed immensely to the corruption and to the destruction of our country. And for the system to be destroyed, you need to have leaders who are willing to kill the system and use the election bodies, because that's how we practice democracy right around the world. People vote, somebody conducts the election as the umpire, people vote and the results are counted and announced and the winner wins. But in our system, when the people vote, the election umpire changes the election result and announces another result that somebody else who lost the election won. And that's how you destroy a system. So I want you to watch exactly what Professor Chidi Odinkalu said. I want you to put your comments in the comment section. Let Nigerians know what you think. If you think that Professor Chidi Odinkalu actually is saying exactly what is known as a fact, or if you agree with him. That if his words are true in his statement, the way he explained it, if they're true, let us know whether or not you agree with it. But you have to bear in mind at the back of your mind as well, that if a country is bombed by another country, the president of the nation keeps quiet. On top of that, he travels to France for his own holiday. Won't you count that as a disrespect? Take another example. The president's on holiday. His people get bombed and killed in villages and they're burnt alive. The president kept mute and never returned for 19 days. Wouldn't you count that as disrespect? But I want you to watch this. I'll catch you on the other side.
Our president has not spoken at all.
Thank you.
He didn't make a broadcast, and I'm told that he didn't make a broadcast also last year. And then he has left the country, about the same time without saying a word. And then Anthony Joshua got involved in an accident. And then the president made a call to Anthony Joshua and put it out to us. Now, I'm not saying the president shouldn't call Anthony Joshua. Of course, he should. But how come we are hearing from our president about Anthony Joshua and he's not telling us a thing? Personally, about the fact that we have America sending bombs to our territory. No word, no explanation, no accountability. What is responsible for that, in your opinion, Prof?
If I give the answer that I'd like to give, people may get excited, but I think it is fundamentally because Tinubu does not need Nigerian votes to be president.
Wow, but he does need it. He must get it.
No, he does not need Nigerian votes to be president. Tinubu needs judges and INEC to give him a result. If you need votes of your people to be president, he will not be, with profound respect, acting with this degree of irresponsibility and utter disregard for the worth and well-being of Nigerians. No. It is because at the end of the day, let us all be honest, what he needs are the judges and INEC. If votes counted, Nigerian politicians would not be as irresponsible, from the president down, will not be as irresponsible as they are to behave as if Nigerians do not count. Because for good or for ill, and I agree with you, people, I've spent most of my life working on atrocities and insecurity across the world, and particularly across the African continent. And when you look at the situation, Sudan, in Darfur, for instance, or indeed in the north of Ethiopia, in Tigray, in Sierra Leone, Liberia, where we had the situation in West Africa, in the last decade of the last millennium, the fact is people who are in trouble, or indeed in the Great Lakes of Africa, right? People who find themselves at the receiving end of a challenging situation do not mind where help comes from. I totally agree. But when that help involves something on the scale of a missile strike on your territory, you do expect that your president will be responsible enough to face his people and say, this is what transpired. And that, to not do that, to not think he owes Nigerians that, and to then leave the country. And while all of that is taking place, what happens? They issue a statement on a $1 billion financing arrangement for the so-called coastal road. They found time to do that. They found time to attend AO in Lagos. They found time to commiserate with Anthony Joshua publicly. But the president has not said anything about the situation. That, for me, is the most eloquent, as I said, of New Year statements and New Year messages. It says the man does not think Nigerians matter.
So now that you've watched it, let us be honest. If votes counted, Tinubu will not treat Nigerians the way he's treated Nigerians, with this level of disrespect and irresponsibilities. Our politicians will not do that. If your vote counted, the president will not leave the country after we've been bombed, goes to France, and nothing has been heard from him since then. Simply because he does not need your votes, my votes, our votes to be president. He didn't need our votes in 2023 and sure wouldn't in 2027. This is because now INEC and judges are the votes in it. This is the reason for the defections to the APC, because they understand the system is rigged and they need to rig and campaign, and they need to rig the elections. And their campaigns are just merely for optics. So they need the elections to be rigged, but when they're campaigning for optics, just to say that Nigerians will vote for them next time. So let us be honest. Our politicians are not responsible for us. As a matter of fact, they treat us irresponsibly in the way they've governed our nation. And this is why, for all of us as Nigerians, you cannot sit on the fence on this one anymore. It's a problem when you sit on the fence. Nigeria has come to the point where if you don't speak up, at some point you will be a victim. Let's take this Anthony Joshua case, for example. I don't like speaking about the dead, so I don't talk about it. Never in a while will he ever think that he will be a victim of a system. Today, The casualty is too expensive to even talk about. The villages that were attacked recently, they didn't think there would be system. They're just waiting. Everyone is like a sitting dog waiting to happen. Do you know what happened to sitting dogs? They're taken out. And exactly what happens to a lot of Nigerians every day. So you cannot sit down and keep quiet and think your votes don't count because they don't want you to vote in the first place. And when you vote, if you don't defend that vote, you will continue to have politicians like Bola Tinubu, politicians like Akpabio, Tajuddin Abbas, and Wike, people who want to act like godfathers and steal the system. It is in Nigeria that a politician came forth. Judges declared him the governor of the state. That's Opus Odima. It is in Nigeria where a governor could not campaign. He couldn't even pronounce words correctly. He's now the governor of Edo State. And you give him the budget to read, and he says the number confuses him because he gets declared the winner by judges. It is in this Nigeria that people steal elections every day and judges toss out evidence because they don't want to confirm the right person. We have not been the ones voting for our leaders. The INEC and judges have been the ones declaring for us who will lead us. That's why Nigeria is getting to the point where it's getting to. And Nigeria is collapsing every day. For a system to be destroyed, for a nation to fail, you need the judges to be participants in the corruption of the system. And our judges have played key roles in destroying our country. I'm trying to help you understand these. Some of the things that Professor Chidi Odinkalu talked about, they are matter of fact and they're well known and documented all around the world. Our politicians don't treat Nigerians as citizens. As a matter of fact, as Nigerians, we're not counted as citizens. That's why other nations can treat us anyhow. Take your passport, they look at you and say, I've been searched. I have been harassed at airports around the world. And I know what I'm talking about. Do you understand? Because of my green passport. I'm not ready to throw it away anyway. That's why I'm telling you, you cannot sit and keep quiet anymore. You have to speak up. Your voice matters. 2027 matters. So when you go out to vote, if you're voting for Peter Obi, which I think is the best candidate at this particular point in time, vote, sit there, defend your vote, because these politicians will make sure that they rig the election, that they will send their thugs to come and cause havoc. Again, put your comment in the comment section. Don't forget to like, to share, subscribe if you've not done so. Recommend this channel. Subscription is free, so subscribe and recommend this video on this channel to others. I'll catch you in the next video. God bless you. Bye-bye for now.